Table 10-5.
The blood flow, this is going to be our arterial supply to the abdominal organs. We have the celiac trunk coming off up under here. Oh, there went a dot, but this is our celiac trunk. I don't know if my finger is going to cover it. Right there. And our celiac trunk splits into 3 different components here. So we'll see if Suzette is doing good. So we have the common hepatic artery, which is right there, and hepatic standing for liver. We have the splenic artery, which is going to go out to the spleen. And then we have the left gastric, which is this tiny guy coming off, which is going to feed the stomach, wrap around, and turn into the right gastric, which actually comes in to just past the common hepatic artery. So that is part of our celiac trunk. Now, our common hepatic artery does a few things. Now, I told you that that right gastric comes in there. But we also have this guy coming off over here, coming down. This is our gastroduodenal artery. So we have common hepatic, and then after gastroduodenal, we then become the hepatic artery proper. And the hepatic artery proper is going to split, and if Suzette can get under it, you can see up there, there's 2 arteries. We have our right and our left hepatic artery splitting off up there. So one more time, it goes common hepatic, gastroduodenal coming off, and then we become hepatic artery proper, and then we split into right and left hepatic arteries. Then we go into, so coming down further from the celiac trunk, so this guy right here, we have the superior mesenteric artery, and mesenteric stands for mesentery, which is the fat of the small intestine. And so this is going to go to our intestine, well, small and some large, but so this is our superior mesenteric artery. Then we have 2 renal arteries, renal meaning kidney. So this is going to be our left renal artery right there, going to the kidney. And then on the other side, we have our right renal artery going to the other kidney. Our gonadal arteries, depending for male or female, will depend if it's going to testes or ovaries. But our gonadal arteries on the, well, here is our gonadal arteries coming off of the aorta. They're very small and about to fall off, so I'm gonna just touch them really gently here. But we have this artery and this artery right here. I'm touching the kind of the end points and moving them just a little bit. Those are our gonadal arteries, and I'll have Suzette come from the angle so you can kind of see how they come off of the aorta right there, but there's that little one. So they're just attaching onto the aorta. Those are our gonadal arteries.
That's right by number 78, if you can see that.
And then we have the inferior mesenteric artery coming down after that. And the inferior mesenteric artery, this is showing it coming off at the side, but really it usually comes off in the middle as well, the same as the superior mesenteric. So inferior mesenteric and superior mesenteric arteries. Now, the venous drainage, we're going to come and turn things around a little bit. We have the azygous vein, which I'm going to flip around so we can see this. The azygous vein is the one coming from the middle here and leading up. It's pretty substantial. And then on this side here, we have the hemiazygous vein, which is running parallel to that. The hemiazygous vein has this little extension coming up and going into the subclavian vein. This hemiazygous vein, or excuse me, this extension coming off of the hemiazygous vein is called the accessory hemiazygous vein. And then we're going to go back to the front again here. So our hepatic veins, we can see up, clear up in there. Well, not very well, but behind the 2 hepatic arteries are the 2 hepatic veins coming off, and we'll see if we can get a decent angle here. Hopefully you can see those 2 prongs coming off together. And then we have 2 renal veins which again, feeding from the kidneys. So this is a right renal vein and a left renal vein over here. So mostly we're looking at what organs these are attaching to, where they're coming from. And then our gonadal veins, this is a little funny because the left gonadal vein comes off of the left renal vein. So if you see there's the left renal vein, and I'm making Suzette work today because the camera doesn't want to focus with all these things here. But here's our left renal vein. And then that's the left gonadal coming off of the left renal vein. And then the right side is like the aorta is, where it just comes off of the vena cava. So this is our right gonadal vein, number 47, right there. Now our hepatic portal circulation. So these join with the aorta, but they're kind of superior to it and not all attaching onto the inferior vena cava. They go back to the liver. So starting with superior mesenteric vein, that's this guy right here, and he runs with the superior mesenteric artery. And then we have the inferior mesenteric vein, which eventually runs with the inferior mesenteric artery. The splenic vein is coming from the spleen, so it's gonna take the inferior mesenteric artery vein with it, and then take the superior mesenteric vein with it. And then it's going to be the hepatic portal vein. And then as it enters into the liver, then it splits, into those right and left hepatic veins again. So I'm thumbing the hepatic portal vein here as it's all come together.